If you've ever woken up with that nagging feeling, ugh, what's the point? Why am I here? What am I even working toward? Then this episode is just for you. So often we can chase happiness thinking that it's the end goal. But what if happiness isn't the answer? In this episode of The Brain Changes, we explore why purpose is the true pinnacle of fulfillment, reaching the top of Robert Dilts' pyramid of neurological levels. Purpose is the guiding star that gives meaning to everything else. It's deeper, it's more lasting, and far more powerful than fleeting happiness. Join us as we explore how purpose can transform your life in ways that happiness alone never could. Welcome to The Brain Changes, a podcast about learning how to revolutionize the way you think and live by mastering your mind. We're your hosts, mother and daughter duo Rebecca and Yvonne King from Moonbeam Monday. Our goal is to empower you to live the life you choose by teaching you how to retrain your brain. Some people tell us it sounds like mind control, and it is, but not the way you might think. This is about you taking control of your own mind, rather than letting your mind control you, so you can choose to live a life free from the expectations of others. No matter what you've experienced in the past, you can create positive change and transformation by learning how to master your mind. We know this because we've done it. Between us, we've survived cancer and stroke and eliminated debilitating anxiety and depression. We've turned our pain into purpose through the power of our mind, and we're now here to support and guide you to do the same. In this podcast, we share valuable insights about how your brain works, why you think, say, and do the things you do, how to begin the process of change, and why it's necessary. Because we know that when you change your mind, you change your life. Thanks for joining us. Let's go. Hello and welcome back to The Brain Changes. I'm Rebecca, and as always, I'm joined by my amazing co-host Yvonne. And today we're talking about something that's at the core of what we teach here at The Brain Changes, and that is purpose. Now, why do we need purpose? How do we find purpose? And does it naturally just come to us? Does everyone have it? And most importantly, how does having a purpose help us live longer, happier, and more fulfilled lives?
That's right, Beck, and hello to all our listeners. Purpose, it's a bit of a buzzword these days, but, it is much, much more than that. It's actually the fuel that drives us forward in life. It's actually the difference between feeling stuck on the one hand and experiencing flow on the other hand. And it's even been shown to add years to our life. That's good news, isn't it?
Yes.
Did you know that people with a clear sense of purpose are more than twice as likely to live longer? It's true, and we're going to explore why that is the case in today's episode.
Yes, quite an incredible statistic there, and I'm really excited to dive into this. So let's start with the basics. What is purpose? And if we think about the dictionary definition, purpose is the reason for which something exists. It's like the foundation for everything we do, the why behind our actions.
Exactly. And, I love what Dr. William Damon says about this in his research. Purpose is a stable and generalized intention to accomplish something that is meaningful both to yourself and consequential for the world beyond yourself. So it's not just about personal goals. It's about contributing something that's much larger than ourselves. And this is where the magic happens.
That's right. And now what left me quite flabbergasted when I first started talking about this is that there are statistics that suggest that only 65% of people in Australia feel that their life has a sense of purpose. So that means that approximately 35% are either unsure or they feel they have no purpose.
A lot, isn't it?
It's a lot to be unsure or actually think you have no purpose.
Yeah.
But going back to what Dr. Damon says about purpose, there's research to back this up, of course, and a study of nearly 7,000 older students found that those who had a strong sense of purpose were more than twice as likely to live longer compared to those who didn't. So even when factors like income, race, gender, and education were considered, purpose was the game changer.
It's incredible, isn't it? And it goes way beyond just longevity too. Having a purpose in life can lower the risk of major health issues such as heart attacks and strokes. It's like your purpose is a protective shield against life's stresses. And I guess this makes sense, doesn't it? Because when you're focused on something meaningful, well, then it makes sense that you'd be healthier and happier, more resilient, because you're not so focused on yourself and focused inward, you're focused out to something bigger than yourself.
That's right. And we even know from personal experience that after a major health incident or crisis, that purpose is one of the big players when it comes to a meaningful recovery, aren't we?
It is. Mm.
Yeah. So now look, from a neurolinguistics perspective, which of course is at the core of our coaching, purpose is even more powerful. When we work with our clients, we always come back to this idea that our beliefs shape our actions. I'll say that again, that our beliefs shape our actions. And when your beliefs align with your purpose, you can achieve anything, really.
Yes, that's a most important point, isn't it? In NLP, we talk about the difference between our conscious mind, that is the goals we can set and the steps we take. We're aware of that. We're conscious of that. And then the unconscious mind, where this is where our deep beliefs and values lie. And we're not constantly aware of these. It's just something that's within us. So when we don't have clear purpose, there's a bit of a disconnect. We're not connecting inwardly with our beliefs and values. So you might achieve goals, you might consciously set goals and achieve them, but it's not going to lead to true fulfillment because our actions may not be aligned with what we really care about deeply.
That's right. And here's the kicker with that, I guess. Purpose is what makes everything else make sense. So it brings clarity to your goals. It's like when you're lost in the woods and you suddenly find a trail. Purpose is that trail. It gives you direction. You know where you're going then. You've been lost in the woods for a long time, but now you've actually got a path to follow. Gives you direction, focus, drive. And instead of just achieving random goals, because in one way or another, we all set goals, whether we write them down, whether we create a strategy to achieve them, in one way, we all set goals. So instead of just achieving these random goals, you're working towards something meaningful, something that lights you up from the inside. And how good does it feel when that happens? Hey there, listeners. This is Rebecca King, the Brain Changer, helping you revolutionize the way you think so you can live your life on purpose. If you're loving what you're learning here on The Brain Changers, we've got something special for you. Take back control of your own mind and truly connect with like-minded people by joining our Mind Masters Collective, a premium subscription membership for those who want to feel happy and confident again, to feel seen, heard, and valued at an incredibly affordable price. Inside, you'll gain exclusive access to a supportive community of people on the same journey as you, knowing they want something more and ready to invest in themselves to achieve it. You'll get loads of valuable resources and expert guidance on mastering your mind to help you live your absolute best life. You'll make new connections and friends that you didn't even know you needed. We'll get close and personal in monthly masterclasses with guest experts and monthly mastermind group coaching to help you navigate the challenges and celebrate the wins as you grow and change. Join us now by clicking the link in the show notes. We're all waiting excitedly for you to join us inside the collective.
So, how do we find this magical thing called purpose? Well, it's not about looking outside of ourselves. It's more about searching inward. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that purpose is something external, like a job or a job title or an accolade or a medal for something. But the truth is, purpose is within us.
Yes, exactly. And as part of our coaching, we often guide people through exercises to help them identify what we call limiting beliefs. So these are the beliefs that hold you back from truly understanding your purpose. So for example, if you've always thought, I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve success, wherever that may have come from, those thoughts will cloud your ability to see what you're really here to do, your true purpose.
Yes, and once you start peeling back these layers, the path becomes clearer. You know, one of the things I really love to ask our clients is, what brings you joy? Because often our purpose is linked to what really lights us up, what makes us feel alive, what gives us joy and happiness.
Yeah, that's right. And you'll be surprised at how many people find it difficult to answer that question. Now, I remember asking myself that question years ago when I was really struggling, what brings me real joy? And I realized that I couldn't name one thing outside of my dogs. They always bring me joy. But I couldn't name one other thing that really gave me that real sense of joy. I mean, there were things that I enjoyed doing, but even they didn't have any real depth to them. And that feeling was momentary. And I know I wasn't alone in that feeling. Another important aspect to consider is this. So a lot of people think that achieving goals will lead them to their purpose. But it's actually the other way around. Purpose comes first. Otherwise, how do we actually know if the goals that we've set ourselves are actually something we want to achieve?
Absolutely. You know, when you focus only on achieving goals without thinking about how they connect with your purpose, you might get, an initial feeling of accomplishment, but it's not going to last because, as we said before, there's a disconnect. You may find that you're actually left with that feeling of searching for more. It's like chasing shadows.
Yeah, which is an impossible thing to do.
It is.
But when you know your purpose first, you're able to set goals that really matter. They're connected to something. You know why you're doing what you're doing. And every step you take brings you closer to something meaningful. You essentially stop worrying about the past or the future because you're fully present. You're living with intention, and you're also living within those values that we talk about, that we've talked about in a previous episode as well.
True. And that's the key, isn't it? Living with intention, or another word for that is purpose. Every decision becomes easier when you have purpose, because whatever you decide to do, you can ask yourself one question only: does this support my purpose or does it not? And then you've got the answer to that dilemma, haven't you? Do you pursue it or do you not? So you can filter out all the distractions because you know where you're headed. You're able to focus on the things that matter. And even mundane tasks take on a greater meaning when we're doing them to lead us to something bigger. So always ask yourself, is this bringing me closer to my purpose or further away? If it's taking you further away, then the answer's easy. It's a no.
Yes. And actually, I have a real life example of that. And it comes from just yesterday. I did, and you were there to help me, Mum. We cleaned my house, essentially. I mean, did some house cleaning, but you helped me sort some cupboards out and neaten things up. Now, to most people, including probably both of us, that sounds like a really mundane task and not something that we particularly look forward to doing. But if I look at that from a different perspective and say, was this bringing me closer to my purpose? And the answer is a true and resounding yes, because it was freeing up some space, not only in my house, but in my mind. I feel clearer today. I've woken up thinking, wow, this just feels so good. But I'm also very proud of myself for doing that. And, you know, it allows me the space and the time to put the effort into helping my clients, because my greater purpose is about service to others. So, yeah, like you said there, it even changes the way that we think and feel about mundane tasks, just like housekeeping.
It does. And, you know, living with purpose requires that we take full responsibility for our own actions and decisions. And we work with this idea that we are at cause in our life, not an effect. This means that everything we experience is a result of our own choices. So we're responding to things. We're not just reacting to what is happening around us. So when you own your purpose, you can stop being the victim and you can start designing the life that you truly want and desire.
Yes. And finally, let's not forget about what we were talking about before, and that is joy. Now, again, one of those words that seems to be thrown about quite a bit these days, but it's something that we're all searching for. One of the most powerful ways to find your purpose is to reflect on those things that bring you the most joy.
Yes.
So purpose isn't just about hard work. It's about what makes you feel truly alive. You know, we talk about feeling lit up inside. When you're connected to your purpose, you experience joy in everything that you do, or perhaps almost everything that you do.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, so wrapping up here, we can describe finding your purpose as a journey, not a destination. Now, it may take time. I wouldn't expect everybody to just know their purpose off the top of their head, or for them to come up with it when we ask. You know, it takes time, especially if you felt a little bit lost for a while, or if you're struggling with identifying what you like, which I know is a big thing for people who get to this point, or if you're struggling with who you are, you know, your identity. It's a process of discovery that changes as you grow. And your purpose may change throughout your life, and that's okay as well. But the benefits are undeniable. More happiness, better health, a longer life. I'm all for that one. And the fulfillment of knowing that you're making a difference in whatever way that is important to you. You know, this is the ultimate purpose. As the Dalai Lama says, our prime purpose in this life is to help others. And if you can't help them, at least don't hurt them.
Yes, and the great thing about purpose is that it gives meaning to everything that we do, even the mundane things, as we've discussed. You'll feel passionate and driven and laser focused, and you can stop battling with the past and the future. And this is a very important point, because when we can live in the present, this is the greatest gift that we can give to ourselves.
Yeah, and even to the other people around us as well. So that's it for another episode. Thanks for joining us today on The Brain Changes. Remember, your purpose is already within you. It's just waiting for you to discover it. So until next time, remember, when you change your mind, you change your life. Bye for now.
Bye now.
Thanks for listening to this episode of The Brain Changes. We hope you've enjoyed the conversation today. Please like and subscribe to stay up to date with all the latest episodes. Our mission is to reach as many people as possible to help them revolutionize the way they think so they can change their brain and create profound transformation. Please help us broaden our reach by sharing this episode with someone you know will benefit. And remember to tag us on socials at Moonbeam Monday and leave a review. And remember, when you change your mind, you change your life. We'll catch you next time for another episode of The Brain Changers.